After 8 years of divorce, my wife mocked me at our school reunion, unaware I'd become a billionaire still driving that old truck, Daniel. Lisa laughed loud enough for everyone to hear, the room filled with quiet chuckles. She looked me up and down with a smile that carried 8 years of old judgment. I guess some people never change. Nobody knew that the faded truck parked outside belonged to a private collection worth millions. Nobody knew the quiet man standing alone near the coffee table now owned one of the fastest growing technology companies in America. Nobody, not even Lisa, had any idea why I had come to that reunion dressed so simply. I wasn't there to impress anyone. I was there to remember who I used to be. 8 years earlier, my life had fallen apart. Lisa and I had been married for 6 years. I worked long nights repairing machines at a small manufacturing company while secretly building software in our tiny garage. Every spare dollar went into my dream. Lisa hated it. "You spend more time with your computer than your own wife," she would complain. She wanted expensive vacations, a bigger house, a lifestyle I simply couldn't afford. When I asked for patience, she called it excuses. One rainy evening, she packed her bags. "I refuse to waste my life waiting for your impossible dream." 3 months later, our divorce was final. She left believing she had escaped a man with no future. I stayed behind with an empty apartment and one last chance to prove she had been wrong. For 2 years, I barely slept. I coded through weekends. I ate instant noodles. I sold almost everything I owned to keep my startup alive. People laughed. Friends stopped calling. Even family suggested I quit, but every rejection taught me something. Every failure made the product better. Then one ordinary Tuesday morning, everything changed. A major investment company discovered my software. Within 6 months, our platform exploded across the business world. The company expanded internationally. Then came another product, and another. Eventually, the small garage project became a billion-dollar technology empire. Yet success changed surprisingly little about me. I still loved simple clothes, still drove my old truck, still believed respect should never depend on money. That's why I accepted the invitation to our high school reunion. Not to show off, just to reconnect with old memories. Unfortunately, some people never leave the past behind. The moment Lisa spotted me, she walked over with 2 friends beside her. "Daniel," I smiled politely. "It's been a long time." She crossed her arms. "I heard you're still living alone. I enjoy my life." She laughed. That's one way to describe failure. Her friends exchanged awkward looks. One tried changing the subject. Lisa wouldn't let it go. "So what do you do these days?" "I run a software company." She burst into laughter. "No, seriously, I am serious." She rolled her eyes. "Sure you are." Then she turned toward the group. "Remember how Daniel always believed he'd invent something huge?" More laughter. I guess fantasy kept him busy after the divorce. I didn't answer. Sometimes silence protects your peace better than words ever can. She mistook my silence for embarrassment. "You always dream too big." "I dreamed," I replied quietly. "And I kept working." She shook her head, still talking like a motivational poster. The conversation drifted away. People moved toward dinner. I grabbed a glass of water and stood near the window, watching classmates catch up after decades apart. That's when an older gentleman froze halfway across the room. He stared directly at me. Then he smiled. "Daniel." I recognized him immediately. Mr. Howard, our retired computer science teacher. He walked over and shook my hand with both of his. "I knew it was you." "It's wonderful to see you." Lisa watched curiously. Mr. Howard looked around proudly. "Everyone." His voice carried across the ballroom. "I hope you know this man." The room grew quiet. "He was one of the brightest students I ever taught." Lisa smirked. "I don't think he's famous." Mr. Howard blinked. "You honestly don't know." She shrugged. "Know what?" He reached into his jacket. "I keep this article because it reminds me why teachers never stop believing." He unfolded a business magazine. Right there on the cover, my face, the headline read, "The Quiet Billionaire Changing Business Software Forever." Silence, complete silence. Lisa grabbed the magazine. She looked from the cover to me, then back again. Her smile disappeared. Someone nearby whispered, "Wait, that's him." Another classmate searched my company online within seconds. Pictures appeared, interviews, awards, international conferences, headquarters. Everything. The room suddenly felt very different. One former football captain walked over. "I use your software every day." Another classmate laughed in disbelief. "My company just signed a contract with yours." Lisa couldn't speak. Finally, she whispered, "You never told anyone?" I smiled gently. "No one asked." Mr. Howard placed a hand on my shoulder. "I always knew your determination would take you somewhere extraordinary." I looked at him. "You were one of the few people who believed in me." His eyes filled with emotion. That's all a teacher hopes for. Lisa stepped closer. I'm sorry. The words barely escaped. I thought. I know what you thought. She looked down. I judged you. You judged my bank account. I answered softly. You never really saw me. Tears formed in her eyes. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. Life isn't about proving someone wrong. It's about becoming someone you're proud to be. I truly hope you're happy, I said. And I hope you find what you're looking for. There was no anger in my voice, no revenge, no victory speech. Just peace. That confused her more than any argument ever could. The reunion ended with people asking for photos, business advice, and old memories. But the conversation I remembered most wasn't with successful classmates. It was with Mr. Howard. Before leaving, he smiled. You became wealthy. I nodded. But that's not your greatest achievement. What is? You stayed kind. Driving home in my old truck, I realized something. Success doesn't erase old pain. It simply gives you the chance to respond differently when life brings that pain back. The greatest revenge isn't becoming richer than the people who doubted you. It's becoming someone who no longer needs their approval. So let me ask you, have you ever been underestimated by someone who should have believed in you the most? If your answer is yes, share your story below because someone reading it today might find the hope they need.